Working with startups for VTC Group is really core to our mission, which is to connect startup companies and what we call small to medium-sized enterprises with large corporate Fortune 500 or FTSE 100 level companies. It's really critical, I think, because almost universally, these large corporations are starting to realize that the dynamics that are occurring within the startup community, the access to technology, the innovation, the entrepreneurial spirit, is well beyond the capabilities of a large company to keep track of over time and with the changes in the marketplace that are occurring. They're recognizing that it's innovation or die is the byword of the day, and they have to find a way to work with these companies in order to stay current and to stay relevant and to be strong in the future. So the VTC Group has this unique ability to map in the abilities of the startups and the technology from the startups into the corporate community in a way that's unlike other companies, the way they do it. Because we understand that there's both a cultural, a language, and a business philosophy that is very different between both groups. And the transition between the startup to the corporate is a very delicate situation in terms of both maintaining that innovative spirit and maintaining the focus on technology, not just for the near term, but for the short term, which is critical for the strategy of the large corporations. The largest program that we have ongoing right now to engage startups with corporations is in the cybersecurity area. Here we've scouted out over 350 companies in the UK that are involved in cybersecurity and use our sponsors' criterion to narrow down which ones fit, not just from a technology perspective, but do they own the IP? Do they have the capability to grow? Is their structure correct for growth and scale? Are they really in it for the long haul? And once they're able to determine that a small company has those kind of criteria and is able to match their needs, then we can start to work together to move the technology from the small business into the large corporations and create a new supply chain for the corporation and access to markets that the small companies might otherwise not be able to maintain. In the future, I think this trend of small businesses and technology incubators and startups becoming a larger and larger part of the technology strategy of the corporations. There's simply no way that the large corporations can maintain that level of focus on transition in the market because they neither want to spend and risk the capital because it's not part of their financial structure. They don't have the talent or the time to maintain focus across such a broad range of potential disruptive technologies. So more and more I believe that the larger corporations are going to be looking toward the startup community and towards groups like VTC Group in order to find a way to map those new and innovative ideas into their core strategies. One of the most common mistakes that I think occurs in any relationship between the startups and the large corporations is they have not just a cultural difference, but they also usually have a financial and a temporal conflict, which is the large corporations can do things at a rather slow pace. They have lots of lawyers and lots of bureaucracy and it's a very important part of their business because the attention that will be put on the technology once it gets integrated into a large corporation's product line is much larger than any small business would ever face. So there needs to be a sense of putting a product on the street that is safe for consumers, that it does what it says it's going to do, and it's not going to expose the large corporation to any given liabilities. So the small businesses need to understand that there's a lot more steps and traps and triggers along the way from what their idea is and their products are into the mainstream supply chain of a large corporation. So there's a temporal aspect that they need to appreciate. I think the thing that the large corporations make the biggest mistake on is assuming that the small businesses can manage and handle that. Small businesses are often very short on cash, they're moving very quickly, they're trying to adjust to market dynamics, all the things that make their part of the whole technology ecosystem so important are the things that are antithetical to the process of a purchase or an acquisition or a transition of technology into a large corporation. So there needs to be good communication, there needs to be solid expectations and understanding, and a very good sense of both sides writing down on a contract or on an agreement what it is they expect from each other, how it will be delivered, what it will cost, and what time frame it will be delivered in. One of the key aspects of this whole ecosystem that the VTC Group is trying to address is the fact that there are these cultural and economic differences between the startup and the startup entrepreneur in a large business. And in the absence of a connection between the two, I think the entire economy will suffer. all the investment that's going into science and education, into universities, is really creating this amazing new ability to bring new technology to the bear, from science to technology to the marketplace. But the small businesses simply do not have the ability to scale, and they don't have the market access that their large corporate partners could have. So I think in order for the dynamics to occur, in order for the market to grow, this collaboration is an absolute must. And groups like the VTC Group are doing their best to make sure that both communities can come together for the benefit of everyone.